Attorney Warren Brown. Now, Bernstein didn't want to make a comment, but Attorney Warren Brown, who seems to be the new spokesman now for the state's attorney's office, along with Billy Murphy. I jokingly called him and referred to him as Doo-Doo Brown yesterday. And Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown was always, just made herself available to Lucy, even though you knew she was going to play that little trick on him, right? With snatching a football from underneath his foot when he went to kick, but he would always do it, And so now we get Warren Brown, who know they going to pull the rug from underneath them when they finish with him. Their old saying is they co-op you and then they co-drop your ass when they finish with you. And if you ain't learned that lesson by now, then you ain't never going to learn it. But why would Warren Brown, who I heard come on a morning show yesterday and say, well, maybe Attorney Jay Wendell need to tone it down. He never said what the Shum Rim member did to the youth was wrong. But he said, you need to watch your tone, as opposed to saying what happened to this teenage boy was wrong. And Warren Brown has a teenage son who went to school with my daughter. Right. So he knows if it happened to his son, wrong is wrong and right is right. Can you speak to that, Sarge?
The thing I would tell you, Jay Wendell, I've known you a long time. People out here need a champion. You turn it up. Don't turn it down. Turn it up, my brother.
You got to have his back.
Hey, we got your back. Trust me, we got your back. Let me tell you something. And I fought this fight. I've been fighting this fight for a very long time. Oh, they'll talk about you. They'll call you out. Even the ones that's supposed to be black gonna sell you out.
Yeah, they're the worst ones, brother.
Oh, yeah, they'll send them at you. But I'm going to say this to you, and I mean this from the heart, Jay Wendell. I've watched you over the years. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. That's right.
I mean, there's no greater compliment, I think, than public service. I don't think you do it for the money, and I know you don't do it for the money. I know the people that you represent. I know you for so long. I know where your heart is. So, for all those Uncle Toms out there that want to criticize, no, maybe if you stood up, the Jay Wendell Gordons won't have to stand up.
That's right.
So the bottom line, plain and simple, is out there, keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Yes.
Because let me tell you something. We don't seem to have, we have a lack of courage in this community and a lack of courage in this city.
That's right.
I'm tired of the Dwight Pettits and them having to sue all the time.
Right.
And this last lawsuit is just an example of over $200-something million. Now, who's going to pay that lawsuit? The community is going to pay that lawsuit because of bad policing policies.
That's right.
Dr. Tyrone Powers and Bunley, all these, DeLacy Davis, all the experts in the fields, we came together, we put together some great policing policies.
That's right.
We have to examine the policing policies of the Baltimore City Police Department. Because, and I think Bernstein is going to have to examine the policing policies or the legal policies of his office.
Right.
I think they're too cozy. I know they're too cozy for certain members of the Baltimore City Police Department.
Right.
I know that to be a fact. If you would, and Mr. Bernstein, if you're listening, as an example, review the Sergeant Sewell case.
That's right.
Yeah, it's going to be settled this week.
That's right.
I know it's going to be settled. And again, you're going to pay out more money. But look at the relationship between that several states' attorneys in that case in the Baltimore City Police Department. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Some of the people in the police department should have went to jail behind the Sergeant Sewell case.
That's right.
And not be promoted, put in these great positions.
Right.
So you're going to have to examine where your integrity is, where your office integrity is, and don't criticize the Jay Wendell Gordons.
That's right.
You need to look at your own doorstop first.
That's right. You have to. And for those that do not know, of course, brother, the case of Sergeant Sewell was the brother who worked homicide, and he was forced by his superiors to view some racist KKK websites, and those officers that were complicit was the brother of the current police commissioner, Charles Bill Field, Hagan, Kidd, and I believe there was one more. And then they attempted to go into the computer and take the hard drive out of the computer. Correct. And all of this was sustained by the EEOC. I saw Bill Field at a town hall meeting with then the current the president of the NAACP, Marvin Doc Cheatham, in which he got up and said that this was true, that these officers attempted to do that, and based on their grading system, the matrix system, they're given an F. And an F means automatic failure, or fire is what it means. But Bill Field didn't fire his brother, nor did he fire Kidd, nor did he fire Hagan. They all had moved up, and Bill Field's brother left and went to the Annapolis Police Force. Is that correct?
That's correct. And let me just bring a little clarity to this. A lot of people think it's just somebody making somebody watch some obscene material or Ku Klux Klan stuff on the computer. That wasn't it, basically. That was a part of it.
That's right.
What the real root of the cause is that certain groups of people or individuals run the police department, or they run several units in the police department. So they want their friends and their people up there.
Right.
Many African Americans have suffered a lot just to get people in positions.
That's right.
Because a lot of these people, like Sergeant Sewell and a lot of other good black detectives, really care about the community, and they really try to, it ain't about overtime and money for these guys.
That's right.
So there's a group of individuals, it's like a sword, it festered like a cancer up there.
That's right.
And when they see African Americans or African American supervisors in these positions of authority, they do everything they can to get them out of these positions.
Yes.
So what happened was the lieutenant up there engaged in a series of actions to try to get Sergeant Sewell removed.
Intimidation.
When he
Right.
couldn't do that, the Sergeant Sewell came to us and we instructed him, showed him how to file these complaints.
Right.
And when these complaints got filed, and when the complaints got sustained, then they engaged in more retaliation. Now, it is true what Brother Muhammad said. Those individuals were supposed to be found guilty of Category F violations,
That's
which
right.
is part of the matrix. And I fought hard for that matrix during the Frazier years. And they should have been taken to a trial board and terminated.
That's
In
right.
actuality, they should have been suspended once they were found guilty.
That's
They
right.
never were suspended. African American officers are suspended at the drop of a hat.
That's right.
They were never suspended. In fact, they were given better jobs than they had in homicides.
Yes, sir.
So now one of them got promoted, the other's in charge of DDU units, and these are individuals, and I don't have a problem saying this,
That's
they
right.
don't really particularly love our community.
That's right.
And I say that because your action speaks louder than words.
That's right.
Now this week, I do understand, from speaking to Sergeant Sewell, that there has been settlement talks, and that there's going to be an agreement made,
Yes.
and that an enormous amount of money is going to pass hands because or a settlement, this lawsuit. Now,
That's sad, brother.
here's all that I'm saying. All these years of lawsuits, all these years that we've shown lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, when is somebody going to pay the price for these lawsuits?
That's right.
When is Bernstein, when is the mayor, when is somebody going to say, you know what, you cost the city $5 million, I'm going to take your job?
That's right.
Huh?
That's
You
right.
would take an African American officer's job if he's late.
That's right.
You take an African American officer's job if he even complains that they're being treated unfairly.
Yes, sir.
But you won't take a white officer's job or a white commander's job
Yes.
who you know has been found guilty of discrimination. And speaking of discrimination, City Hall, look at the records
That's
of
right.
your white commanders. They all have histories of discrimination.
That's right.
How is it, if the discrimination is a Category F violation, that they're still in positions of authority?
Yes, sir.
If you would discriminate against your own,
Right.
what you think about their policies? The policies have to be discriminatory.
That's right.
So is it any reason why the effect of racism don't carry over to the community?
Right.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Now, there's many out there that want to attack me. Bring it on.
Yes, sir. Okay, we're gonna open up
Bring
the
it on,
phone
please.
lines.
I've never
If you
been
got a
afraid of
question
anybody
or comment, get
or
in on the
anything.
conversation.
I'm
410
still standing.
761 1592. Again, we open up these phone lines. You got a question for Jay Wendell, for again Sergeant Lou Hobson, for Brother Israel Kayshawn, and for Donnie Glover. I don't think you got a question for me, some of you know what I mean? But I think that you know that we've just been willing to give you that truth with the proof up in the booth. Gotta talk about, brother.